I wanted to film this segment at this time right now. It's the holidays, and so it's not always going to be the holidays, but it got me thinking, it's time of year that centers around children and how special they are and how much they change our lives. And I had a reading today with a woman who had lost her son, and she thanked me for my books because she said that after losing her son, that she had not really wanted to be here anymore. And I think a lot of parents who lose children feel that way. And I thought it necessary to film the segment for all the parents out there who lose a child. In my opinion, it's the most unbearable kind of loss is to lose your child. It's unimaginable to most, and some people are forced to live through it. When I bring children through, they, depending on how old they are, but almost always still like to live in the parents' house. Even if they were 18, 18-year-olds still felt connected to their mom and dad. They tend to still sleep in what they consider their room or their bed, and we'll say, tell mom not to worry about me. I'm okay, I'm still here. I wouldn't leave her. I know that dads suffer kind of a silent pain that's as deep as a mother's pain. It's just they don't tend to express it as much, and so they need an outlet. And any parent who's lost a child, I encourage to find a support group, because it's really the sort of struggle that you can't go through alone, and you shouldn't go through it alone. Parents tend to feel like they wanted to, part of them died with their children, and it's very heartbreaking. And with my readings, what I try and do is bring the parents back to the land of the living, where their children really want them to be. And like I say from time to time, if you can't live for yourself, live for them, because all of the experiences that you have while you're alive, the deceased who love you get to experience those vacations with you, or any sort of an endeavor that you go on, or a family reunion, or anything that they would just be proud of and like to be a part of, they do participate in. And they are pretty good at giving signs at those special times as well. So if you're suffering the loss of a child, I encourage you to rejoin the living, so that not only you can learn to move forward, but so that they can help to push you forward. And I like to say, to parents, remember that every day you wake up is a day closer to being with them again. And I don't mean that in a morbid way. I mean that be happy every day you wake up. It's a day that you're alive, a day to enjoy, knowing that they're there enjoying it with you. But also, our days are numbered and limited in life. We have eternity to be with them, and it's nice to bring some stories with you, because once you pass, you don't really create so many memories, so to speak, anymore, because you've lived your living life. Unless you helped to push your parents forward and can be a part of theirs, but it's still not exactly the same. Although I have had the deceased come through before and say, I was in Hawaii with you, you couldn't see me, but I was sitting next to you, and I was laughing at your jokes, and I was, interacting with you. You just weren't so capable of interacting with me. But when you pass, I'll be able to show you the vacation we had together. And then when the parent passes, they get to walk through the memory of that day that happened after their child died and see it through their child's eyes, how the child was actually on vacation with the parents and how they were laughing at that right moment at the punchline of the joke. And so then you get to see it from their perspective and how they'd been there all along, being a part of your life still. And I hope that comforts some people to understand that. I think bringing kids through is one of the most rewarding things I do in my life, as well as one of the most heart-wrenching, because it means that they had to suffer some sort of a, early passing, and I don't like to think of young people having to go through anything like that. as you move forward in your everyday life, whether you've lost a child or haven't lost a child, I think it's great to send out positive energy to people who need it, and often that's in the form of a prayer. If you feel a moment of weakness, pray, talk to them, talk to the people who have passed, ask them for strength. They're there, they guide you. And I just hope that the days that the young people had while they were alive are not overshadowed by the days that they weren't here to live, and that it's seen as a complete life on some level, because the children always come through and say that they were happy and that they knew they were loved, and they felt like very lucky to have had the families that they did.